Is the Oahu luxury market a buyer's market? My name is Tom Presler, and I'm joining you from Coldwell Banker here in Honolulu, Hawaii. In general, our luxury home market is healthy. There are some distinct differences between the single-family home market and the attached home market. Single-family home sales activity is up. Low inventory continues to be a restraining force on our overall market volume, but it is helping to keep the prices up, so that's great news. The attached sales activity is down significantly. Inventory has returned to pre-pandemic levels, and we're starting to see those dynamics play out in reduced pricing. So let's take a look at the numbers and see if we have a buyer's market. Okay, before I dig into the numbers, just a quick reminder that the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing uses a benchmark price for single-family homes of $1,875,000, and for attached homes or condos and townhomes, that benchmark price is $835,000. In the month of July, there were 21 single-family home sales ranging in price from $1.925 million to $9 million. Of the 21 single-family home sales, 9 were in the Diamond Head region, 7 in the Kailua region, 3 up on the North Shore, and 1 each in Hawaii Kai and Kaneohe. Of the 21 buyers, 13 were local buyers. 8 of the buyers were from the mainland, 6 from California, 1 from Washington, and 1 from Las Vegas. And this amazing beachfront estate in the Sunset neighborhood on Oahu's North Shore was listed by Tracy Allen from Coldwell Banker and sold for $9 million. This house was built in 2015 and has the type of location, finishes, and amenities that luxury home buyers are looking for in our current environment. I'm sure the lucky buyer from California is going to be loving life in this beautiful home. Okay, for all you fellow number nerds and analysts, let's take a look at some of the trends for the Oahu single-family market. As I mentioned before, the number of sales was really strong in July. You see that number of 21, and when you compare that to last month, there were only 11. That's a big 91% increase. Now, when you look at that number of 21 sales in July and you compare that past 13 months, you'll see that we're pretty much on par with where we were before the pandemic. Even when compared to July of 2019, we're up 5%. So when looking at the number of sales, also considered demand, you'll see that the Oahu single-family home market has some pretty strong demand. As we turn to the supply side of the equation and we look at the number of listings, we see that in July we had 234 listings, which unfortunately is about 2% down from the previous month in June. Unfortunately, we just don't seem to be making much headway in getting more inventory on the market. Now, when we compare that 234 listings in July over the last 13 months, we see that we're down pretty significantly from the pre-pandemic numbers in the end of 2019. July of 2019, there were 262 and we're down 11%, but there were higher months, for example, November at 270. It's important to note that those numbers were already considered low inventory and were even lower than that. And it's also important to keep in mind that of those 234 listings, there's going to be some projects there. There's going to be some properties that aren't quite as desirable as others. In the situation we're in today, luxury buyers are really looking for outstanding properties that are in great location, turnkey, move-in ready, that has the newest features, the finest finishes, and all the amenities. That's what they're really looking for. So if you're a homeowner watching this and you have a great property and you're wondering if you should sell, I would say that now is a great time to be listing your home. With strong sales and low inventory, it's not a surprise to see prices holding firm. The July median price of $3 million is up 15% from the prior month. The July median price, when compared to the same month a year ago, is up 34%. More importantly, the July median price of $3 million is the highest median price we've seen in the last 13 months. Okay, moving on to attached homes, also known as condos and townhomes. There were 22 attached home sales in the month of July, ranging in price from $845,000 to $2.1 million. 16 of the 22 attached homes were sold in the metro region, primarily in the Kaka'ako and Ala Moana neighborhoods. The other 6 were sold in Hawaii Kai, Diamond Head, and Kailua regions. It's interesting to note that 18 of the buyers were local buyers, 1 was from California, and 1 each from Korea and Japan. Local buyers are taking advantage of low interest rates and good values in this buyer's market. An interesting trend in the condo market is condos with direct access to their units from parking on the same floor or private garages are typically selling quickly and at a premium. The highest attached home sale on Oahu in July was this spacious Hokua unit selling at $2.1 million. Listed by Keola Lai from Berkshire Hathaway, this unit was sold in just 14 days at 91% of list price. Hokua was built in 2006 and set the standard for luxury in Kaka'ako. This is still a favorite with luxury buyers because of spacious units, amenities, and staff services. Turning to the trends of the attached home market, we'll start with sales. As I mentioned, there were 22 sales in July, which is up 5% from the 21 sales in the previous month. While there has been a positive trend in the number of sales the last few months, the 22 sales in July are still lower than the pre-pandemic levels and significantly lower than the 2019 levels, down 53% from July 2019. So as you can see, the demand side in the attached home market is very different than what we saw in the single-family home market. On the supply side of the attached home market, we see the number of listings in July have increased a little over 1% when compared to last month. When looking at the past 13 months of listings, we see that the July number of 420 listings is actually the highest number in 2020. When compared to 2019, it's not too far off, just down 2.5% from July 2019. So with the number of sales significantly lower than 2019 levels and the number of listings at similar levels to 2019, it's not surprising to see downward pressure on prices. The July median price of $1,045,000 is 2.7% lower than last month. When we look back at the median sales price over the last 13 months, we see that the July median is actually 2.1% higher than July 2019. However, it is significantly lower than the December 2019 median sales price of $1.36 million. If you click the link below to access the Oahu and North American luxury reports, you'll notice that the Institute of Luxury Home Marketing uses sales ratio as a key indicator of whether it's a buyer's or seller's market. They simply divide sales by inventory to get that ratio. Now, they consider 14.5% to 20.5% a balanced market. You'll note that they indicate Oahu is 9%, and that means it's a buyer's market. Now on Oahu, Honolulu Board of Realtors puts out their report monthly, and one of the key indicators we look at is months of inventory, and that's just dividing inventory by sales. The Oahu luxury market is considered balanced when months of inventory is at 12 months. In July, the months of inventory was 11 months. I just wanted to point this out so that you are familiar with that sales ratio when you see it in the report. And another thing I wanted to point out is that this 11 months is for the overall Oahu luxury market. There are some submarkets that perform better, and obviously there are some properties that perform much better than 11 months on market. When we look at the same information for the attached home market, we see a different story than the single-family home market. Both of these indicators point more strongly to the attached home market being a buyer's market. So it looks like the single-family home market is balanced with a little bit of a favor to the seller, and the attached home market is definitely a buyer's market. Now, having said that, I will tell you the single-family homes that are moving faster and getting closer to list price are those homes that are more newly built, have the upgraded features and finishes, and have the space that today's buyers are looking for. They're looking for home offices, home gyms, outdoor recreation areas, those things that help them isolate during the pandemic. Similar on the attached side, buyers are looking for homes that are allowing them to isolate from other owners in the building, whether that's direct access from the parking garage or from their own private garage, or maybe a private elevator. It also includes building services where the staff is delivering things to the home. So those are the properties that are moving quickly and getting closer to list price. Okay, if this information has been helpful, please click below to like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel to see future monthly recaps. If you have suggestions for other topics, please let me know. Thank you for your time, and please take care.